Hey everybody, wanted to do a video today about some questions that I've been asked on the last video I had, so I figured I'd make a video about it instead of just answering the questions on the typing portion of it. So if you see me looking down, I'm referencing my notepad because I didn't want to miss any of the questions. So here we go. The most common question that I usually get is how long do they last? That's a tough one because each person, the way you are, the way you treat your system, how often you wash it, what kind you use totally changes that. So I'll go to the types of systems, how long I think they will last from my I guess it's not really experience, but my research. You've got monofilament, which is the old school version. Monofilament is like fishing line, just like it sounds. It's just a really fine fishing line. Supposedly it'll last 6 months. I don't have any proof to the pudding of that, but that's what they say, and that's with you being gentle and taking care of your system and not just beating it up real bad. Then you go to a lace style system like a French or a Swiss lace. French is thicker than Swiss. Swiss probably lasts a less amount of time. Swiss is what I have. French is going to be a little thicker. The mono system, back to the mono is really not suggested for a hairstyle like mine or anything that has an exposed hairline because it's visible. The French and the Swiss lace is something, if you want an exposed hairline, it's probably where you're going to be safer. Those last anywhere from 3 to 4 months from what I've been told and what I've read. The poly system, a poly is like a skin-based system, like a thin skin or something like that. I hear they last the least amount of time, anywhere from 6 weeks to 4 months. And this is all depending on how you treat your system, how often you wash it, how rough you are. If you sleep with a silk or a satin pillowcase, which I sleep with a satin pillowcase to do what I can to help my system stay good, I guess. So that's really what I've got on that. It's not 100%, and like I said, there's so many variables to this, it's just never perfect. A lot of it might have to do with whoever made it too, if it was a good manufacturer or a bad, and I really don't know the different ones, to be honest. On to the next question. How much time does it take to re-glue? If I pull my system off, wash it, wash my head, shave my head where the system goes again, and then have my wife reinstall it, if I'm BSing, just taking my time, it takes about an hour. And I do that every 2 weeks. I could probably do it faster, but it's in the evening. I'm just kind of taking my time and not really getting stressed out about it and not getting anxious or anything like that. And it seems to go pretty smooth. I will suggest doing it by yourself to be an experienced pro, because I just don't think I could do it by myself and get it lined up right. Everything, the prep and all that stuff, the shaving my head and all that can be done by yourself if you have 2 mirrors. That's fairly easy. But the installation of actually sitting it on top of your head and laying it down definitely needs 2 people. I usually do it where I put like tape, back here somewhere on the sides, like, right here. I put it on my scalp. And then that's all I have there at that point. And then I lay it down and I get my spot right here. I measure it typically from my hairline to right here, and I measure it with a measuring tape. And I have a hard time with this. I can't really do that on purpose. Y'all can laugh at me if you want to, it's okay. But that's hard for me to do. So I guess my hairline's right here. That's where my little falling out hairs that I still have remaining on my head actually end up, is about in that area. So that's where I usually put my system. And then once I get those 2 strips there, I lay it down, and then I hold it right here like this in the front, and then I let her go back behind me and reinstall the tape to the perimeter of the unit, and then we lay the unit down on the back of the head. Then what I do is I flip the front up, like you've seen in other people's videos, I'm sure. I flip the front up, and I do my ghost bond in this area, my 3 coats, and then I lay it back down. So that's really how I do that, and that takes about an hour. If I really rushed through it, I could probably do it in 45 minutes, but I just don't see the need in rushing and getting all anxious and concerned and scared and all that. complications. I think I did a video on complications and things to do at one point, but I'll definitely readdress it. Complications. I check my hairline every time I get out of the car, which is kind of hard because the lighting in the car is kind of a weird shade, and it looks like the hairline's horrible in the car. But if you get out, it's fine. It looks fine. So, you know, I just kind of, you know, started doing this sideways thing like this, which I kind of like because it covers this, so I don't have to worry about so much exposed spot. Just really, this spot's all I really got to worry about. So it's not really that bad. So I just make sure that's good to go. So we'll call that a complication. The second complication is in the mornings, when you get out of the shower and you're getting ready and you're blow drying your hair or whatever, that you'll get some corners or edges or something coming up that you have to fix. And it asked me, the question was, how long does it take to go through the complications? Well, depending on how bad it is, what I usually do is I will get me a Q-tip with alcohol, and I just kind of rub around the area that I feel that's starting to come up. I kind of dab the alcohol there, and then I roll the hair piece back, the unit back, so that I get to the good glue is what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find the good glue where it, you know, wants to stay, where it wasn't messed up. And then at that point, I put my little hair thing in, so I pull it back, and then I put my little touch-up. Just one coat for touch-ups is all I do, just one single coat. And then I reapply in 5 minutes, and I'm good to go. Other complications. I have the sides, like where the unit is under here, they come up. I don't see that as a complication because on my head, I actually cover them. So it kind of rolls up under here, but I don't see that as a problem for me because it's covered by hair. So it doesn't really bother me, and the back edges will come up too. So I guess that technically is a complication, but I don't see it really as that bad of one. I could see for someone who had a dead set schedule that had to be somewhere at a certain time every day, like 8 a.m. had to be at a job, a complication could be time, and the time being allocated correctly in case you do have a problem that you have to fix. If you have a problem that you have to fix, you're going to be stuck and you're going to have to fix it, or you're going to be late to wherever you're going. So I definitely allocate plenty of time for that. Look back at my list. I really don't see any other questions that are important on, not that are not important, but I don't see any more questions at all. So that's really all I had. That's all I got. I'm going to do another video now about Ghost Bond and my experience with that. So just check that out. And also don't forget that John's still giving 20% off. It's in the comment section. Just use the referral code and you'll get 20% off your system. So you'll save almost $50. So that's cool. And just subscribe if you like it, and let me know if any questions. Thanks.